Stories behind the ag brands we love and the ag brands we love to hate. What color is your tractor? With Chrissy Wozniak.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Wozniak, and welcome to What Color is Your Tractor? The company that we're going to talk to today is a manufacturer of livestock mixing and feeding equipment, compost mixing equipment, and manure spreaders. It was founded by Ben Nyer and Bill Pullen in 1984 in Dodge City, Kansas, and today they have additional manufacturing facilities in Hoisington, Kansas, Sunnyside, Washington, as well as a retail location in Scott City, Kansas. They have over 100 dealers in the U.S. and sales in 40 international markets. I would like to welcome President and COO of Roto-Mix, Kelly Whitman. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kelly.
You're very welcome. Thank you for involving us in this. We're excited to do it.
Awesome. So let's start right up at the beginning. Farming was pretty tough in the 80s. So what made the founders decide to start manufacturing? So tell me about them and how and why they started the company.
Well, Ben had a farm and a little feedlot east of Dodge City here in Mullinville, Kansas, and had cattle in pens and fed them with the old, a lot of the ag people will know is the John Deere chuck wagon, which was a chain floor box. And all you could really do was layer your silage and your hay, your steam flake corn, any of your feed ingredients in layers. And so as the chain floor went forward, it fell onto another conveyor and then discharged. So you really didn't have any mixing going on. So the cattle could pick through the feed. They could eat the hay or the corn. They could eat kind of whatever they wanted. Ben kind of thought there's got to be a better way. So he involved a couple of people. They went to a small garage and built a model and thought that's about what we want to do. So they built their first unit that fit in the back of a pickup. And it was driven by just a little Briggs & Stratton gas engine. Wow. And it worked really well. And Ben and Jim Copeland are the first two to do this. And that's why the company originally was called BJM, for Ben and Jim Manufacturing.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Wow.
Yep. And that was the first company. Ben was actually, we always call him the father of the feed mixer, because before Ben invented the auger box, there really wasn't any way to mix feed in the early 60s.
Really?
And so Ben did that about in the mid 60s, and then kind of decided he had something going. He had something that worked pretty good, and kind of one of those things, the neighbor sees it and he says, I want one. And the other neighbor sees it and he wants one. So Ben started manufacturing the auger mixers.
That's really cool. And now today you've added more products as well, right?
Yep. Through the history, the BJM kind of went away, and RotoMix started, as you said, in 84 and became an official company in 85. But yes, we have manure spreaders, compost mixers. We are in over 40 foreign countries. So we are definitely worldwide as an organization.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. And I understand that the company is also a family business. So how has that affected the direction and growth of the company over the years?
It's been pretty good. We've actually had several changes. It's been family and then not, and then family and then not.
Okay.
We still have Rod Nyer, who is the son of Ben, is our CEO and CFO. So he is still involved with the company on a daily basis. But we are owned by an investment group now. Mm-hmm. And that has been very beneficial. We have a larger checkbook to work with, excuse me, for expansions and equipment that we need. We're very blessed.
Yeah, I bet. And you have been at RotoMix for a very long time. So tell us about your journey.
Wow. I started in April of 91 in the engineering department. Was one of two. We had just two draftsmen, kind of engineering assistants, and a head engineer. Then in 91, when I started, I was kind of in charge of doing all the manuals, doing all the technical illustration. Mm-hmm. We got an agreement that was kind of a secret deal, but we got an agreement with John Deere in 1993, and we were going to OEM feed mixers for John Deere. There wasn't going to be the capacity in Dodge City to handle that. So at that time, we found a facility in Hoisington, Kansas, and I moved up there in December of 93. And then January of 94, we shipped our first units out of there. So, and that plant's still going today. They build our vertical mixers, which need a higher ceiling to put the augers in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they can also build all the commercial mixers that we build in Dodge City.
Oh, that's right. And you have a self-propelled now too, right?
Nah, we did several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real good European technology where they're subsidized a lot more in the manufacturing. They're pretty expensive. They're slow. So we really just focus on the truck, trailer, and stationary sides of the equipment.
So you guys clearly serve the industry well. How does RotoMix want to be seen in the ag industry?
Oh, I think we'd like to be seen as an innovator. We're constantly looking at what's next, what's new. When we came up with our staggered rotor several years ago, that need arose because of the injection of all this wet distiller's grain from the ethanol plants. It's kind of like almost mixing Adobe. It's really heavy, it's wet, it's sticky. And some of our customers up north in Nebraska, where there's so much corn, there's a lot of ethanol plants, and we had some customers in the 60 to 70% of their ration was distiller's grain. So we designed the staggered rotor to make that mix better because of the design of the rotor. So innovation is where we'd like to be seen. I guess when you think about cattle feeding, you don't think of exciting things and big news and kind of what's the newest big thing, but we like to try and stay on the edge of that.
Right. Yeah. So do you ever get like weird requests to mix things?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Weird request. And it's always seems that they always come when our standard orders have slowed down, maybe summertime or in a slow time. Yes, we have done some weird stuff. Multiple doors on mixers, door locations. We build a lot of right-hand units, of course, for Australia. So specials don't scare us. I do know a lot of our competition absolutely will not do specials. The ability of us to do that and the willingness to do it has gained us a lot of customers because we will do those odd things for somebody.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. That makes a big difference to your customers for sure to listen to what they need. And I'm sure you've probably over the years been able to pick up some new product lines because of that, right?
Yeah, sometimes there are the special things that end up kind of becoming an option that we offer. Years ago, we did a self-feeder auger, which was kind of a single auger that hangs under the bottom of the auger bottom on a mixer, and it'll swing out and fill the creep feeders for calves. We did one of those for a customer and we should probably offer this. And now we do probably 3 or 4 a year. It's not a high volume deal, but we offer it and customers know it. So cool. It is an option that we can handle.
Wow. So who are some of the most memorable people within the company along the way?
Oh boy. We're an aging workforce. We joke that our senior management team is going to all need walkers before the next few years here, but we've had quite a few. Ben was definitely an amazing man. He passed away a few years ago, was involved with the company until he passed away. He taught a lot of us a lot of things, was a self-prescribed engineer, I guess you'd call him. Did more design work than a lot of people that are engineers. He's a great guy. We had a purchasing agent by the name of Bob Sweeney, and he was an absolute character. His office is at the bottom of the stairs, so our receptionist would have a salesman come in, and Bob could hear him down at the bottom of the stairs, so receptionist would call down and say, "John Smith's here to see you." And Sweeney would yell on the phone and out his door, "I don't got time to see that guy." And it was always a pretty good laugh because the salesman heard him, but then he would end up telling him to come on down. But he was a pretty good character. Clinton Harris was one of our guys. He kind of ended up just being he did a lot of parts running for us, but Clint was a special man. He always had a funny joke to tell you, and always kind of made you smile if you were having one of those days. And yeah, we've had our share over the years, and a lot of them were the characters, but they were here forever. I mean, we have a lot of 30 year plus employees, and a lot of 20 plus year employees.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, I can vouch for the fact that you guys grow great people. Over the years, I've been able to get to know some RotoMix employees, Kevin Zart and Brady Moy. Brady's the rep out this way in the East, right? Correct. And I can honestly tell you that the kindness that I've experienced from them has actually impacted my career, and I'll be forever grateful to those two, for sure.
Well, that's good. And you've done some things for us as well, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what's great about our industry, right? Is that it's a small circle, but a big circle. We cover a lot of ground.
It is, yeah. That's one of the things we always joke about in our industry is you kind of be careful what you tell people, because the feed yard telegraph is a very fast transmitter of information.
That's for sure. Yeah. And you guys have been lucky enough to be featured on the Peterson Brothers YouTube videos.
Yes. Yeah. And actually last year at the NCBA, it'd be 2 years ago since COVID canceled last year. We partnered with Digistar, the scale people at TopCon, I guess is actually what they're known as now. But they had contracted the three boys to be at the booth during the NCBA.
Oh, wow.
Down in San Antonio. But they didn't have enough. The boys wanted to sing a few times during the show, but the TopCon booth was only, I think we always just call them the 10 by 10s, the tabletop booths. So they contacted us and wanted to know if I was okay, if a few times each day, if they would come to our booth and sing. And I was like, yeah, what's it going to cost us? And they said, we've already paid the contract. We just need a space.
Oh, wow.
Sign me up. So we actually did rent the audio equipment for them and built a little stage in front of our semi-trailer feeder box. So 3 or 4 times a day for the first couple of days of the show, they came over and would perform. And you want to talk about drawing a crowd.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
We screwed up the aisles and packed our booth and got complaints from the booth next to us because of the noise. But yeah, it was a good deal. So yeah, those videos are seen all over. There's another gentleman, Derek Klingenberg. He does a lot of videos that show his truck mixer. He has a 620 on a truck, and up here in north central Kansas, but he does a lot of parody videos as well. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm, most people that know me know I'm all about marketing and branding and sales process. And that's what led to how this show started, is that I'm just kind of fascinated with this brand loyalty, and social media has really changed how, companies are seen now too, right? Like I remember during those years, people were wearing RotoMix hats all over the place. And I thought, well, that's so cool when, I got to know Greg Peterson a little bit through a different event in Iowa. And yeah, he wears his RotoMix hat, and it just such a cool new way for us all to be connected, right?
Yes. Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
It's shocking how many, if you really start looking at the people that have liked, shared, commented on Facebook posts, and how quick it is to spread across the world. We have some awesome customers all over this big globe, and it's just, to me, it's crazy how quick that information can spread, good or bad. And you have to be ready to defend the bad or, support the bad. But yeah, technology is amazing of what it's done in the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. So why do you think a producer should choose RotoMix over all the other mixers and spreaders out there on the market?
Well, I kind of like to hope that they all want the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. We're not the cheapest. We never have been, and we actually have absolute zero desire to be the cheapest. That's not why we're here. Our goal is to build the best mixing and feeding and spreading equipment that there is. It is going to cost the consumer more, but we like to hope or like to think that what we provide is worth it. We have a lot of mixers out there for many years that just get rebuilt every now and then just because they're wearing out and they still use them. We had the very first unit serial numbered in 1984 in our mount shop or in our service shop, getting some rework done to it just probably about a year and a half ago. So the very first mixer with a decal on the side of it that said RotoMix is still being used today. It's on its 5th or 6th owner, but it's still out there. So,
no way. That's incredible.
37 years out in the world, and it's been quite a few different places in the country, but it's still ticking. So I think that's the longevity is there if people take care of them.
Yeah, for sure. And then, thinking back on the last year, how has that impacted you guys?
It was pretty tricky at the beginning of it. We never did we didn't get slow. We didn't lay off. I think the most we ever had a kind of affected by COVID or out because they had to quarantine was, I think we had 3 at one time, but most of the time it was 1 or 2. The way our shop's laid out, it's pretty easy to isolate the new words, the new normal, the self-isolate. I hate the new normal, but it was just kind of natural because you have a welder in his bay and he just stands in his bay and welds. The biggest thing that got us when orders did slow down, because feed yards during that time, their biggest concern in our close area here was the packing plants had to throttle back their production, so the cattle backed up in the feed yard. So when you have feed yards that don't ship cattle for 3 or 4 months, and they're used to shipping cattle every few days, the backed up cattle caused most of the grief because the biggest concern on a feed yard manager was taking care of those cattle that are getting bigger and bigger, and all these cattle that are supposed to be coming in, what am I going to do with them? So their concern about getting new equipment, I think, kind of slid to the back burner, so to speak.
Right.
And that kind of slowed our orders, but we still just stayed busy. We never cut hours back. We were in full production through the whole COVID thing. Obviously, like everybody, locked our doors. No salesmen in. Truck drivers weren't allowed in the building. Somebody took their paperwork out to them. So we made changes, obviously. Few people in the office that could work from home. I was here every day at 6:30 in the morning, so I didn't notice any difference. But there were a few changes, but I guess you'd say we managed it very well.
That's good. That's really good to hear. And we're lucky in this industry because everyone has to eat, right? So it's got to keep going. We're
when it
very lucky.
First came out, we did some checking, and because we supported the beef industry as an equipment and maintenance and breakdowns, we were right at the top of the list of the essential businesses. So if it would have got worse to where things had to close, we would have been at the very tail end of that list. So we definitely got through it better than I thought at the beginning. I was in a little bit of a panic, but we made it.
That's awesome. Over the last year, I've noticed, we all spent so much time at farm shows, and everybody would say, "Oh, the farm shows are dying. Farm shows are dying." And then COVID hits, and we're like, "Oh no, what are we going to do without farm shows?" So I think we hopefully have learned some more skills in selling and marketing, and can be a little bit more choosy now, hopefully, and smarter about it.
Yeah. Yep. It does kind of change your outlook. Nobody really enjoys doing them, but they're a necessary evil of our business.
That's right. Yeah.
A lot of them have been virtual, which I think it kind of depends on what industry you're in, whether you can survive a virtual trade show. Our managers, the decision makers, I don't think they're going to sit in front of a computer and watch a trade show for 7 or 8 hours to try and see your virtual booth. They will travel to the large shows like the NCBA, but to me, our show is a physical show. They're necessary in a way, I think, because if you don't go, you're conspicuous by your absence.
Yes, I agree.
if we don't go to a show, somebody says, oh yeah, RotoMix is having tough times. They've quit all their farm shows, and the rumor mill will fly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you go, but it's a necessity. And there are still some people that they want to go see the equipment hands on. That looking at it on a computer just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I can never get rid of farm shows. I think people need to be able to see and touch and feel and talk with their friends about the equipment in real life, right? But yeah, I think maybe we had too many. I think.
Yeah, and you can see the big guys have throttled back. They noticed that at Louisville the last year. We were able to go to that. Some of the like John Deere, they have smaller booths. They don't bring something of everything they do. You bring your new equipment or your specialized equipment, maybe for that region. But so yeah, I think it will create some changes, but I don't think they'll ever completely go away.
Well, so I have one more question, and that is, what color is your tractor?
Well, right now I'd say it's orange because it's a bad boy mower. I never have really owned a tractor, so to speak. I've worked for my buddies that farm, and I've worked a lot of cattle, but never been a big landowner, so haven't had a need for a tractor. But yeah, so I would say orange now. My first one would have been yellow. It was a Cub Cadet mower tractor style.
That's awesome. They're not going to pull a mixer.
No, it'd be a really little one.
Yeah. I don't know about the orange and red.
I could use a white one. White wouldn't look bad.
Oh, there you
orange.
go. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad. Oh, that's good. Well, so if people want to learn more, where can they find you?
Best place is our website, rotomix.com, ROTOMIX.com. All of our equipment's on there. There's all the specs. You can see some videos on there. You can also get on YouTube and put RotoMix in there. We have a lot of our mixing videos, side-by-side comparison with competition. And of course, the Peterson Brothers and Derek Klingenberg's videos are always good to watch too. So yeah, there's a lot of places where you can view our equipment.
That's excellent. So thanks so much for joining me today, Kelly. And thanks to everyone who's listening. If you want to learn more, like Kelly said, go to rotomix.com. That's the website, right?
Yes.
Yep. And we'll have the links provided as well in the show notes. And have a great day.
Thank you for your time, Chrissy. We appreciate you.
Thanks. Thanks so much for listening to What Color is Your Tractor? I hope you learned something new about the brand you love or hate. If you're a manufacturer who would like to apply to be featured on this show, please visit whatcolorisyourtractor.com/contact and fill out the form.